활약을 보여주고 있는 송병우 선수이기 때문에 전반전 첫 번째 때도 완벽하게 길을 죽이고 시작을 하겠다라는 이런 의미가 담겨져 있는 엔트리 기용이 아닐까.
You guys couldn't see it on screen, but I just like inadvertently gave Stork a point before we even started the game. Just like assume that Stork is gonna win because he's so badass. As far as I know, Colin actually also still has the best Brood War record. I'm not sure, they did lose to Ace last week though, but yeah. Anyway, apparently it's gonna be classic, so he's pretty boned. You can't beat Stork, dude. You should just like GG out now. Just tap out, man. Tap out. Well, he did win his last 3 games. So yeah, the rankings are pretty crazy right now. Let me actually have a look at these again. I believe SKT is 7th. Yeah. So SKT is 7th, and Seoul is tied in 2nd place with Con. Basically, they're both 5 and 3, but just due to the score, Con is ahead. Pretty funny. However, in their last match, Con actually got owned by Air Force Ace. Or not really owned. They played a really good 7-game series, and Jangmi lost in the Ace match to Guemchi. Spoiler alert. Whoops. Whoops. Spoiler alert. Well, that's alright. You guys are watching it live, so presumably you're up to date. Anyway, and in STX's last match, though, they kind of crushed Stars, who are the #1 team, in the rankings at least. So that was quite impressive. So you definitely don't want to count STX out by any means, especially with January's random player picks. Anyway, are we 16-9 for Brood War? Is that what's going on here? Why does everything look so fat? Look, it's actually taking up the whole screen. I feel like the Esports TV guys went a little bit overboard. They watched the stream on the weekend. They were like, "Oh my God, 4-3 StarCraft 2 is terrible. Let's just make everything 16-9." And now they made Brood War just really fat. This is like the Brood War I know and love, except like 40 years on, and she's had one too many donuts and is now very fat. But that's alright because I still love her, of course. Because it's what's on the inside that counts. Am I right? Am I right? Maybe this is why I'm single. Anyway, we're on electric circuit. It's like horizontal spawns. Or close spawns, I should say. And Stork, I believe, last time he played on this map, did like some early 10-15 gaining aggression, if I remember correctly. I don't remember who the Terran was, but Stork's been doing quite a bit of like aggressive openings recently, and it's quite good on this map, on electric circuit, because it's a flat map, no ramps. I mean, I say this all the time, but it really does make a huge difference. It really is quite a pain for the Terran, honestly. I mean, I'm a Protoss player, but like, I can feel the Terran player's pain when the Protoss players just like abuse it and just go 10-15 gate good, and they're like, lol, you can't actually defend very well because you have to wall in at a really weird point. Anyway, is he going command center first? Oh, classic! Classic! Pulling a flash, going for 14 CC. I wasn't paying attention to his base, but that is what has happened here. 14 CC. Now Stork looks like he's going to scout in the correct direction. So let's see what he does here. It looks like he scouted after core. If he sees this in time, he could just immediately stop making probes and go 10-15. I'm not sure if that timing will work though. Alright, so now he sees what's up. And it's perfect because my stream doesn't want to show me what's up anymore. Oh, good. Oh, the good thing about the YouTube stream, it looks like, is it won't ever skip. If it buffers, it just resumes wherever it left off. So at least even if we buffer, we'll be okay. And that's a pretty cute wall in there by Classic, putting the barracks and the depot there next to his command center. I didn't actually know you could do that. The walls that I've seen on this map, usually they're like in TVZ, and then you do like 2 depots and a barracks diagonally across that choke. But this is actually a really cute little wall in here, and that's going to be really effective against Zealots actually. Because I'm fairly certain that, well actually I'm not sure, will the Zealots be able to pass through the between the command center and the barracks? I want to say they can't, but I'm actually not sure. They might be able to, but even if they can, it's still a very nice wall. And that SEV, that probe, man, that probe is vicious. He is chasing down that SEV. There's 2 SEVs chasing him. That one probe has forced 3 SEVs off of mining. That in itself is like super worth it, even if he doesn't kill that SEV. Anyway, the second gateway is already done, which leads me to believe that Stork did in fact make that on 15 or around there upon seeing the fast nexus. And indeed, we can see his nexus isn't blinking, so he's actually cut probes here. So definitely smells like a 10-15. But there is a bunker at the front though, and I mean, with enough repair, Classic shouldn't die unless Stork proxies a robo here. And this is actually a very strong strategy against any kind of fast expand from the Terran. Like, basically, if you 14cc or you 1-racks expand, you're extremely vulnerable to a proxy robo Reaver, along with elevatoring. We saw this in Free versus... Oh, was it Free versus Last on Jade? Where Last went for 1-racks FE, and Free just proxied a robo and elevatored, and then, like, people were just like, how does he actually stop this? And you know, it is extremely difficult. Even if you scout it, it's just like you don't actually have enough units to do anything in your base. So we can see the 2 factories going up here. There's already a bunch of Dragoons putting pressure up on the front here, and the robo is on the way. And looks like he's gonna need 1 more SCV. Yeah, you need 1 SCV per Dragoon here to repair that bunker. We do have an engineering bay now. This is a nice engineering bay positioning. He's going to be able to, it's like right on the edge of his base, right? So he's going to be able to lift that up and kind of spot for any turrets he places on the edge of his base. But I'm actually curious what he's going to do. Is he just going to build turrets like in the mineral lines, or is he going to build them in a ring around his base? There's like 2 ways of like turreting your base. One is just to space them out so that your entire perimeter of your base is covered and a shuttle can't get in. But that obviously requires quite a few turrets. And looks like Dragoons moving in, trying to snipe some SCVs here. There's 6 Dragoons, that's a lot of Dragoons, but no, they're gonna run back, sniping the 2 Marines that were not able to get in the bunker. Looks like Stork does lose a Dragoon here. And yeah, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, turret positioning. So the other way of doing turret positioning is to just put like 1 in your main, 1 in your natural, and then like 1 by your factories. And then you let the shuttle come in, but it can't get too close because of those turrets, and then you just have like a little micro war in your base. So you save some money from not making too many turrets, but obviously it's a little bit more risky. Anyway, the first Sea-Shank is out, so Stork won't be able to put any more pressure in on the front, but he doesn't need to because he's already elevatoring in. And now this is spotted by Classic. What is he going to do though? What can he actually do? 6 Dragoons, 7 Dragoons are about to just walk into his base, but it looks like a sick wall in. Oh my god, that's what he was doing. That engineering bay wasn't to float out, that engineering bay was to wall the bottom of the ramp there. Oh my goodness. I did not realize that was what he was doing. But oh, Stork with the double elevator here. The wall doesn't even matter, but there's a bunker going down in the main base here, and a couple of turrets, I'm sure. Stork, seeing the wall in here, is just like, well, I guess I have to, I guess I just have to make a bunch of bunkers in my base. That is apparently the way to deal with this. Oh man, Jamie's looking on, he's like, come on Stork, don't die, it's freaking Classic, man, don't die. Oh man, the Reaver takes 2 Scarab shots. Oh no, the Reaver doesn't get a shot off. The Reaver gets owned by Sea-Shank Fire. Stork is so dead. Oh my god, Stork. I was like, oh man, look at me being all like, oh yeah, there's no way Terran can hold off this attack. Proxy Reaper is imba. And then Stork just walks into 4 tanks in a bunker and is just like, oh shit. Oh god. I mean, okay, I'm a Stork fan, but that was seriously hilarious. Alright, like, if somebody showed me this game without telling me who the players were, I'd be like, okay, the Terran's probably some decent A-rank Terran, right? Like, it could be, I don't know, like C or something, or Last, and the Protoss is probably Lizzie, aka Motive. I'm like, this is probably Motive playing. And I would have been completely wrong! It would have been Stork! It would have been Stork. Or rather, it is Stork. And now Classic is gonna expand to the back burner only. I just can't stop giggling about that attack because that was like so bad. But I want to give props to Classic though for just like doing some sick defense in his base. Because usually when we see this, it's like pretty one-sided. It's like, oh, the Protoss walks in with a bunch of units and the turret doesn't have anything. But then Stork just like failed completely. I mean, it's so uncharacteristic too, because Stork, of course, is renowned for having superb Reaver micro. So you know, you'd think, oh, look at this! I think he's faking this. I think he's trying to make him pull SCVs, or maybe he's just spawning. Okay, but yeah, you'd think that, you know, of all people, Stork wouldn't have the dud Reaver. But what are you gonna do? Anyway, just now, yeah, when he dropped the Reavers there and moved the shuttle in, I thought he was gonna like just poke the shuttle in a bit and fake as if he was gonna drop a Reaver there and force Classic to pull SCVs without actually risking a Reaver. But no, I think he was just checking if there was a turret there, so if he could drop the natural or not. Otherwise, he's gonna leave these two Reavers to kind of keep Classic back in his base. But you know, even though Stork double expanded behind this to his natural and his mineral only, obviously Classic has already taken both bases as well. And Stork is down at 47 supply to 81 supply of Classic, so it's not looking good for the commander here. Come on, Stork. Actually, you know what? Given that opening, Classic definitely deserves to win this. I would actually feel bad if Stork somehow beat him. It would be pretty amazing, though, to see Stork make a comeback like that. You know, it looks like the bunker in the main actually just got salvaged, aka blown up by siege tanks, because you can't salvage in Broodor. So, the command center is up. Looks like 3 o'clock has some vultures there or some mines or something. Just to deny it. Stork has something at the 6 o'clock though. Looks like he's thinking about taking that base, which seems to me to be a little bit risky. I mean, that is kind of your natural 4th base to take, but that's like expanding towards the Terran, which is generally not a good idea as any race really. You never expand towards the Terran, because then just like put siege tanks somewhere and shoot your base, and you're very sad. Anyway, Stork doing at least a very good job of kind of keeping the Terran army back with these Reavers, but a lot of factories being added now. Looks like he's going up to 8 factories in total. A bit of a messy factory placement, honestly. But you know what? That's fine. It's not like that's gonna lose him the game when he's 20 supply ahead. And Vulture is checking everything out. I think that's a very, very good job by him. I mean, you know, normally you do see pro gamers pretty good about, you know, running around all the expansions with the Vultures, but in this kind of situation especially, I think it's very, very important to make absolutely sure that there's no hidden expos or something going down, because that's one very horrible way to win, or rather to lose a game, is that, you know, when you get really far ahead like this, the other guy might just take a huge risk and be like, well, I'll just take like 5 hidden expansions, and then if you don't notice it for like, you know, 5 minutes, you just lose the game anyway. That's in fact something that Day9 said in a podcast. That's right, guys. If you go check out Day9's old school podcast series, I think it was from the Hallmarks of Expert Play series, where he's like, you know, where it's like how to win when you have an advantage. Scout all the expos, and don't lose your shuttle! Don't lose your shuttle! That's not how you win from an advantage or from a disadvantage, Stork. That's just not how you win, period. Ah! Stork! What happened, man? Did Stork like forget how to use shuttles and Reavers? Because Stork is like supposed to have amazing Reaver micro. What happened to the Reaver micro that like almost pulled him back in that game against Flash last season on Ground Zero? Like, what happened to that? Where did that go? Stork's been making too many Colossi. He's just been A-moving them across the map, and then now he's making Reavers again. He's like, oh shit, you actually have to micro these things? Oh, it's terrible. At least he killed the turret. The observer was like, guys, don't worry. He may have lost his shuttle and Reaver, but he killed a turret. Anyway, looks like the Robo scouted. Doesn't really matter. Stork's now 50 supply behind. Basically, what's gonna happen is Classic's gonna get like 180 supply or something and 2-1. He's not even doing a 2-1 attack. I don't think taking that base already. But Classic is gonna decide at some point, hey, I want to go kill him now, and Stork's gonna be like, oh shit, and then he's gonna die. So yeah, that's my predictions of this game. And we do see the second army going up just then, even though his +1 was already finished. So his upgrade timing was a little bit off. And, oh, that is an observer over turret. If that turret finishes, it'll glitch. That is an illegal move, unless that observer was there in the first place, which seems to happen to Stork surprisingly often. If you guys notice, that turret stopped spinning and wasn't shooting the observer. If you place an observer directly over a turret, it will not shoot. It won't shoot anything. And that's actually an illegal bug to do that purposefully. If you're Protoss, you can't. Or actually, I'm not sure if it's illegal anymore. I think I'm actually not sure about that. It was illegal at one point, but it might not be anymore. But I think it's still kind of frowned upon a little bit. But I think it might actually be legal now. Yeah, Expect is saying it's legal now. Okay. Yeah, still kind of iffy behavior there, abusing that bug. Anyway. Yeah, you can't spam S on the turret, but it just seems kind of like I don't know. So, looks like Stork has the 6 o'clock, and it's thinking about taking the 3 o'clock, but gonna get, oh, not quite denied. The pylon wall does go down. I'm a little bit surprised he's attacking the completed pylon and not the morphing pylon, or the warping pylon rather. Ooh, that was a weak one hit. But now Classic is basically maxed, so he should actually push now. Because if he waits for Stork to get maxed as well, then he's kind of like giving up his advantage. He's actually made a dropship. Alright. If he like drops and pushes at the same time, I guess that's good. But he should just push. He shouldn't just like do fancy harassment and expand a bunch. Because if he lets this game go on too long, Stork can definitely make a comeback. He should just go kill him now. Alright, looks like that's what he's doing. He's going to send out the dropship at the same time. Alright, this is good, this is good. I like this. So basically, Stork's going to be all focused on defending the push, and he's, you know, he doesn't want to really worry about that drop. So when the drop goes in, like, if Stork actually pays too much attention to it, well, basically, you know, it's just taxing his multitasking. Could definitely force him to make a mistake where he like mispositions one group of units while defending the drop. But it looks like the engagement's gonna happen first here, and Stork has some high Templars in the shuttle. If he gets some amazing storms off, maybe he can do something here. Does get some decent storms off on the leading units, but has to back up here. Does not have enough supply, but it looks like, look at the supplies though. Classic lost like 40 supply in that engagement, and Stork only lost like 20. So definitely an efficient engagement for Stork, which is quite unusual in PvT for the Protoss to be the one getting efficient engagements. Looks like the drop is in the back, but Classic is actually the one having a difficult time multitasking this. But Stork, man, is actually holding on like a boss here. Problem is, though, the push is getting closer and closer to his 6 o'clock. He's going to be forced to actually engage his head-on pretty soon. And here we go. The wave of Zealots is moving in here. For some reason, the tank line seems so shallow. I don't understand where Classic's units are. No, actually, it does extend a little bit further back, but all the supporting units are gone here. Classic, and he's not paying attention to his drop. Now we can see why Classic is not exactly S-class Terran material here. That dropship's just been sitting there for an hour. It looks like he has expanded at least to the top left mineral only, but the push is not quite what you would see from someone, say, of Flash's caliber, where this push would have already like killed the 6 o'clock and been on the way to the natural by now. But it looks like Probe's going to be evacuated here. Barely going to survive there. It's going to leave half of them though at the base. And this is going to cost Stork his robo, which is a little bit annoying. He will have to remake that to get more obs and shuttles out. But at this point, it's not a huge cost. Classic, by the way, is floating almost 2,000 minerals if you look at the bottom right, where Stork is keeping his money nice and low. So, Classic having some macro / multitask issues. I mean, to be fair, pushing with like a maxed mech army is extremely APM intensive. It's like super difficult. I was gonna say it's one of the hardest things to do in Brood War, but there's like a friggin' million things that are really, really hard, so I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I can never push with a Terran army. I just like A move, siege mode, and mines are for women. We don't use those. I play man-style Terran, where you just attack. Usually doesn't quite work out so well, but what are you gonna do? Anyway, so Classic is now remaxed, and Stork is at about 150 supply. He's gonna catch the army a little bit out of position though. The supporting units not covering the tanks, not buffering, but it looks like it doesn't even matter. Stork should run away now. He ran out of Zealots. Yep. Oh, taking some big shots on the Dragoons though. The way you want to engage this kind of army as a Protoss is you want to go in with all your Zealots and Dragoons, and once all the Zealots die, you run away with the Dragoons, because otherwise the Sea Shanks will just completely own you.
김도 선수가 이제
Enemy greens are much more expensive and take longer to reproduce.
선수가
Meanwhile, Classic is expanding on the corpse of Stork's old Nexus there. Slightly BM move, but I mean it's not even intended to be BM. I think that's actually a natural expansion to take. But GG from Stork. He's not gonna wait around. And Classic takes out Stork in game number 1 here. Oh my goodness, STX could be on the way to the top of the rankings here. If they win this match, they'll definitely be ahead of Samsung Khan. Let me actually see how no Stars will still be in the number 1 spot though. But still, that would be quite amazing. STX above Khan and SKT, and well, all the other teams except Stars. Stars and STX in the top 2 places, guys. What is going on? Although, I mean, I shouldn't really be calling it at this point, considering it's only been 1 game. But still, if that game is anything to go by, Khan is in a bit of trouble.
이번 시즌에 이런 성적을 보여주게 된다면 진짜 앞으로 나올 때마다 저희가 윈도우 외쳐줄 수 있는 거 아니겠어요?
그렇죠. 이제 더군다나 오늘 첫 경기 같은 경우가 연승록이었습니다. 두 선수 모두 연승을 달리고 있던 팀에서 가장 좀 분위기 좋은 선수들을 전방 배치했다라는 것 자체가 첫 경기를 무조건 잡아내겠다는 생각이었고 그 경기 결과가 오늘 경기에 많은 영향을 끼칠 것이거든요.
네.
윈도우는 자신에게도 통하는 것이지만 팀에게도 팀의 승리의 윈을 줄